Okay, so let's talk about an animal we all think we know. You know, the icon of the savannah, a total staple of every zoo and kids' book. But as we're about to see, the giraffe is hiding some of the most incredible, most surprising secrets in the entire animal kingdom. So let's just start with the biggest question, the one we all have. Why the crazy long neck? Well, I'm going to tell you right now the simple answer you learned in school. It's probably wrong. Or at the very least, it's just a tiny piece of a much, much cooler story. And get this, for a giraffe, just bending down to get a drink of water is a life or death gamble every single time. It's this moment of total vulnerability, not just from lions, but from the actual laws of physics.
And what about those iconic spots? We all just assume they're for camouflage, right? But it turns out they have this hidden, super high-tech purpose that is just absolutely genius. So you ready? Let's get into it.
We are starting with the main event, the neck. The story of how it got so unbelievably long is this amazing puzzle, and scientists have at least 5 major theories they're working with. All right, first up is the textbook explanation, the food competition theory. The idea is super simple. You've got a crowded savanna, and giraffes with slightly longer necks could reach all those untouched leaves way up in the trees. That gave them a survival advantage they could pass on to their kids. Makes perfect sense, right? Well, reality has a funny way of complicating things. When scientists actually go out and watch giraffes in the wild, the theory just doesn't quite hold up. Turns out, they spend most of their time munching on leaves at shoulder height, not stretching way up to the treetops. And why? It's all about efficiency. They can just get more food faster at that comfortable middle height. They can reach the top, sure, but most of the time, they don't even bother. So if it's not just about food, what else is going on? Well, there's the necks for sex theory, which suggests that males use their long, supramuscular necks as weapons to fight each other for mates. The big problem with that one, female necks are just as long. Another idea is vigilance. You know, being a taller periscope lets you spot lions sooner. Totally plausible, but it's really hard to prove that's the reason the neck evolved. Some even think the long neck is like a giant radiator to cool them down. And finally, there's this idea that maybe their legs got long first for running, and the neck just had to play catch-up so they could actually reach the ground for a drink. So what's the verdict? Honestly, it's complicated. There isn't just one magic bullet answer. The giraffe's neck is probably the result of all of these things working together. A little bit of food competition, a dash of fighting for mates, some predator awareness, all mixed together into one incredible, towering feature. Now, that massive neck doesn't just change how a giraffe eats, it creates this enormous internal plumbing problem. I mean, how do you pump blood almost 10 feet straight up to the brain without the whole system just giving up? To solve this, the giraffe has evolved to have blood pressure that is just off the charts. A healthy human is around 120/80. A giraffe? It's cruising at a mind-boggling 260/160. Their heart is a 2-foot-long, thick-walled powerhouse, designed to handle that insane pressure every single second. But this creates an even scarier problem. What in the world happens when they lower that 10-foot-long neck to take a drink? All that high-pressure blood should just rush straight down, flood the brain, and cause a catastrophic failure. So how do they survive something as simple as drinking water? Their solution is this brilliant, multi-layered safety system. So as the head goes down, the pressure starts to build. But then a big gulp of water physically presses against the main artery in the neck, squeezing it and slowing down that surge of blood to the brain. And on top of that, they have these special one-way valves in their veins that just slam shut to stop any backflow. It is a masterpiece of biological plumbing. Okay, now for those beautiful geometric spots. Again, we just assume it's for camouflage. But the giraffe has yet another surprise hidden all over its body. You have to hear this. The spots are a super sophisticated personal air conditioning system. I'm not kidding. It's one of the coolest examples of thermoregulation in the entire animal kingdom. So here's how it works. Research has found that underneath every single dark patch, there's this dense, complex network of blood vessels. The dark fur absorbs more heat from the sun, and the giraffe can then push warm blood into these little thermal windows to radiate that heat away from its body. It's amazing. And of course, the spots still do their traditional job too. For a baby giraffe hiding in the dappled right of a bush, those patterns completely break up its outline, making it almost invisible to predators. Speaking of pigment, let's talk about melanin really quick. It's the stuff that gives color to our skin and hair, and its main job is to act like a natural shield against harmful UV radiation from the sun.
So, a giraffe spends hours a day with its nearly 2-foot-long tongue sticking out, wrapping around thorny branches. To keep it from getting a terrible sunburn in the intense African sun, the front part of its tongue is packed with melanin, which makes it this dark purplish black color. It literally has its own built-in heavy-duty sunscreen.
Okay, for our last section here, we are going to completely change how you see this animal. We always think of herbivores, especially giraffes, as these gentle, peaceful giants. That could not be more wrong. Seriously, just forget that image of a calm giant just munching on leaves. The whole gentle, defenseless herbivore thing is a complete and total myth. In reality, you need to meet the savanna's most formidable kickboxer. An adult giraffe is one of the most dangerous animals you could possibly attack out there.
A giraffe is anything but helpless. Their kicks are legendary. They can lash out in any direction with enough force to literally crush a lion's skull. They also use their front legs for these devastating stomps. On top of that, they're smart. Mothers will form these communal daycares, where one female stands guard over all the babies while the others go eat. It's a system that massively boosts the calves' survival rates.
So next time you see a photo of an adult giraffe with claw marks raked across its side, don't see that as a sign of weakness. Those aren't the scars of a victim. No way. Those are the badges of a survivor who stood their ground against a lion and won. Because of their incredible height and their amazing senses, they basically are the watchtowers of the savannah. They see danger long before anyone else does. And when a giraffe starts to run, every other animal knows it's time to go. Their panic is the alarm bell that rings across the entire plain. The giraffe is just this perfect reminder that the world is so full of hidden complexity. It really makes you wonder if an animal we see all the time, an animal we think we know so well, is holding on to this many secrets. What other incredible wonders are hiding out there right in front of us, just waiting to be discovered?